Have you ever imagined defeating your enemies without lifting a finger? Today, we'll uncover 10 powerful strategies inspired by Stoic philosophy to overcome challenges and neutralize adversaries using only your mind and wisdom. Get ready to turn conflicts into opportunities for growth and emerge victorious in any situation. Let's dive into these life-changing tactics. Think for a moment. How many times have you found yourself in a conflict and wished for a smarter way to handle it? That's exactly what we'll explore today, inspired by ancient but timeless Stoic philosophy, which originated in ancient Greece. We gain valuable lessons on self-control, resilience, and practical wisdom. These lessons are surprisingly applicable to our modern world, especially when dealing with difficult people or situations. Throughout this journey, we will uncover 10 powerful strategies to destroy our enemies, not literally, of course, but in terms of neutralizing their negative impact on our lives. These strategies will allow us to win with intelligence and wisdom while maintaining our integrity and inner peace. Get ready for a journey of self-mastery and personal growth. We will learn how to turn obstacles into opportunities, find strength in adversity, and cultivate a mindset that allows us to thrive regardless of external circumstances. So grab a notebook, open your mind, and let's dive into these 10 powerful ways to overcome challenges and come out on top without even lifting a finger in conflict. Before we begin, I want you to think about the last time you felt truly challenged by an enemy. How did you handle it? Keep this situation in mind as we explore our strategies. Our first strategy might seem counterintuitive, but is incredibly powerful. Deliberate ignorance of those who declare themselves our enemies. Imagine a scenario where someone constantly tries to provoke you, looking for a reaction. What happens if you simply don't respond? It's like taking fuel away from a fire they're trying to ignite. Have you tried this before? How did it feel afterward? This tactic is deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. Roman philosopher Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." By deliberately ignoring provocations, you exercise supreme control over your emotions and actions. But note, ignoring does not mean being passive or allowing abuse. It's an active choice to not engage in unnecessary conflicts, focusing your energy and attention on things that truly matter in your life. In practice, this might mean not responding to provocative comments on social media, avoiding unproductive discussions at work or family gatherings, and focusing on your goals and personal growth rather than worrying about what others think or do. Remember, your inner peace is too valuable to be disturbed by people who don't have your best interests at heart. By deliberate ignorance, you retain control over your narrative and energy. Now think, is there someone in your life you can start ignoring intentionally to preserve your peace? How would this change your daily dynamics? But what if ignoring isn't enough? This brings us to our next strategy. Sometimes ignoring isn't sufficient. Here's where our second strategy comes into play, winning with the head. This approach invites us to use our most powerful weapon, our mind. Winning with the head means outsmarting the opponent by using creativity and planning to solve problems without direct confrontations. Consider for a moment, have you ever been in a situation where your intelligence and creativity helped you overcome an obstacle without conflict? An inspiring example of this approach is Mahatma Gandhi. In the face of the British Empire's might, Gandhi did not resort to violence. Instead, he carefully planned non-violent civil disobedience actions that exposed the injustices of colonial rule and rallied millions of people. His intelligent and peaceful strategy eventually led to India's independence. In our daily lives, winning with the head can manifest in several ways. 1. Anticipation, foreseeing potential conflicts and planning solutions in advance. 2. Diplomacy, using communication skills to resolve disagreements peacefully. 3. Innovation, finding creative solutions that benefit all parties involved. 4. Education, combating ignorance or bias with information and dialogue. Imagine you have a coworker who constantly tries to sabotage your projects. Instead of confronting them directly, you could document your work meticulously, build positive alliances with other colleagues and leaders, and propose collaborative projects that benefit the entire team. Remember the Stoic philosopher Epictetus's words, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By winning with the head, you maintain control over the situation and yourself, demonstrating true mastery. What situation in your life could benefit from this intelligent and strategic approach? But what if we could go beyond just winning? What if we could turn our challenges into opportunities for growth? This is what our next strategy suggests. What if I told you that your enemies could be your best teachers? This is the essence of our third strategy, turning adversaries into personal growth mentors. This approach is deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, which teaches us to see obstacles as opportunities. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor strengthens the body." Have you stopped to think about how a recent challenge helped you grow or learn something new? Here are some examples of how to apply this strategy. 1. Self-awareness. Notice your reactions to provocations. What do they reveal about your weaknesses or insecurities? 2. Skill development. Use the challenges posed by adversaries to improve your communication, conflict resolution, or leadership skills. 3. Empathy. Try to understand the motivations behind your enemy's actions. This can lead to valuable insights into human nature. 4. Resilience. Every challenge overcome increases your ability to handle future adversities. Let's say you have a boss who is highly critical. Instead of resenting them, you could use this challenge to improve your work, develop thicker skin against criticism, and learn how to communicate your viewpoints more effectively. By embracing this mindset, you not only neutralize your enemy's negative power, but also accelerate your personal and professional growth. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Who in your life could be seen as a disguised mentor? What can you learn from this person? But what if the real enemy isn't who we think? Our next strategy leads us to a surprising revelation. Get ready for a life-changing insight. What if I told you that your enemy isn't really the cause of your suffering? This is the core of our fourth strategy, a profound insight from Stoic philosophy. Epictetus, one of the pillars of Stoicism, taught, "It's not the things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." In other words, it's not our enemy's actions that cause us suffering, but our interpretation and reaction to those actions. Think about a recent moment when you felt insulted or hurt. What caused more suffering? The action itself or your thoughts about it? Let's explore how we can apply this principle. 1. Self-awareness. Notice your thoughts and emotions when facing an enemy. Try to identify where your interpretation might be magnifying the problem. 2. Detachment. Practice emotional detachment from others' actions. Remember, you can't control others' actions, only your own responses. 3. Reevaluation. Ask yourself if there are other ways to view the situation that cause less suffering. 4. Responsibility. Take responsibility for your emotional well-being instead of blaming others. If a coworker makes a negative comment about your work, instead of getting upset and seeing it as a personal attack, you can interpret it as an opportunity for improvement or simply as one person's opinion that doesn't define your value. By internalizing this strategy, you free yourself from the power others have over your emotional state. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. What situation in your life could benefit from this shift in perspective? Now that we understand the power is in our hands, let's explore one of the most powerful actions we can take. We've arrived at one of the most challenging, but also the most liberating strategies: forgiveness. Have you ever considered forgiveness as a form of strength? In Stoic philosophy, forgiveness is not an act of weakness, but a demonstration of strength and nobility of character. Seneca argued, "Mercy makes us like the gods." By choosing forgiveness, we rise above the cycle of resentment and revenge, freeing ourselves from the negativity that ties us to our enemies. Think of a moment when you forgave someone. How did it feel afterward? Let's explore how we can integrate forgiveness into our lives. 1. Understanding. Try to understand the circumstances and motivations behind your enemy's actions. This doesn't justify the behavior, but may make forgiveness easier. 2. Empathy. Acknowledge that we all make mistakes and sometimes hurt others unintentionally. 3. Release. View forgiveness as an act of personal liberation, not a favor to the other person. 4. Practice. Start with small acts of forgiveness and gradually work towards more significant ones. If a friend betrayed your trust, instead of cutting off ties or seeking revenge, you can choose to forgive. This doesn't necessarily mean re-establishing the friendship as it was before, but it frees you from the burden of resentment. Remember Marcus Aurelius's words, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." By forgiving, you not only neutralize your enemy, but also become a better version of yourself. Is there someone in your life you can forgive today? How would this change your reality? But what if we could go further than forgiveness? What if we could truly transform our relationships with our enemies? Our next strategy explores exactly that. Imagine turning an enemy into an ally. Seems impossible? Our sixth strategy challenges us to take a step beyond forgiveness, actively transforming our relationships with those we consider enemies. The Stoic philosopher Musonius Rufus taught, "For human beings, doing good to others is as natural as fire ascending. Acting with kindness and understanding, even in the face of hostility, can radically change the dynamics of a relationship." Think for a moment. Have you ever witnessed a relationship that transformed from animosity to mutual respect? Let's explore how to apply this strategy. 1. Genuine interest. Try to understand your enemy's perspective and find common ground. 2. Empathy. Recognize their struggles and offer support where possible. 3. Consistent kindness. Respond to hostility with kindness and patience. This disarms the opponent and can lead to mutual respect. 4. Collaboration. Find ways to work together towards common goals. If you have a neighbor who always complains and seems hostile, you could start by greeting them warmly, offering help when needed, and trying to understand their concerns. Over time, your consistent kindness might transform the relationship from hostility to friendship. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, "The best way to avenge yourself is to not be like your enemy." By turning an enemy into an ally, you not only neutralize the threat but also gain a potential friend and ally. What relationship in your life could benefit from this transformative approach? What if the real challenge lies within ourselves? Our next strategy takes us on an inward journey. We've reached a crucial strategy that calls for introspection, conquering ourselves. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Before we can truly overcome external enemies, we must conquer the inner ones, our fears, insecurities, and negative emotions. Consider for a moment, what inner battles are you currently facing? Let's explore how to apply this strategy. 1. Self-awareness. Regularly reflect on your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Identify patterns that need improvement. 2. Discipline. Develop habits that strengthen your mind and character, such as meditation, journaling, or physical exercise. 3. Resilience. Practice facing small challenges to build resilience for more significant obstacles. 4. Continuous learning. Commit to lifelong learning and personal development to constantly improve yourself. If you struggle with anger, instead of focusing on external triggers, work on developing techniques to manage and transform your anger, such as mindfulness or breathing exercises. By mastering your inner world, you become resilient to external provocations. Remember the Stoic teaching. The greatest victory is to conquer yourself. What inner battle are you ready to face and conquer? But what if we could find a way to detach from our enemies completely? Our next strategy explores this powerful concept. We now turn to a liberating strategy, practicing detachment. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, "Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well." Detachment is not about indifference, but about accepting reality and focusing on what we can control. Think about a recent situation where attachment caused you distress. How would detachment have changed your experience? Let's explore how to apply this strategy. 1. Focus on what you can control. Direct your energy towards actions and attitudes within your control. 2. Acceptance. Acknowledge and accept the reality of situations without resistance. 3. Mindfulness. Practice being present in the moment without clinging to outcomes. 4. Gratitude. Appreciate what you have rather than focusing on what you lack. If a colleague's behavior at work irritates you, instead of getting attached to the idea that they should change, accept their behavior as it is and focus on how you can respond constructively. By practicing detachment, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering and become more effective in your actions. Remember the Stoic teaching. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. What situation in your life could benefit from a detached perspective? What if we could go beyond detachment and find inner peace amidst chaos? Our next strategy shows us how. We've arrived at a profound strategy for achieving inner peace, embracing the present moment. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius taught, confine yourself to the present. By focusing on the present moment, we reduce anxiety about the future and regrets about the past, finding peace in the here and now. Consider a moment when you felt fully present. How did it affect your sense of peace? Let's explore how to apply this strategy. 1. Mindfulness. Regularly practice mindfulness techniques to anchor yourself in the present moment. 2. Gratitude. Express gratitude for the present moment and the good things in your life. 3. Acceptance. Accept the present moment as it is, without wishing it to be different. 4. Presence in action. Focus on giving your full attention to whatever task you are engaged in. If you find yourself worrying about an upcoming meeting, bring your focus back to the present moment, perhaps by taking a few deep breaths and appreciating the present. By embracing the present moment, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and become more effective and peaceful. Remember the Stoic teaching. Do not let your mind be carried away by the past or future. Concentrate on the present. What current situation could benefit from your full presence? Finally, what if we could find an ultimate perspective that brings everything into focus? Our last strategy unveils this powerful shift. We've reached our final and most enlightening strategy, adopting a cosmic perspective. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Keep in mind how fast things pass by and are gone, those that are now and those to come and exist always through change." By viewing our lives and conflicts within the broader context of the universe, we gain perspective and clarity. Think about a recent conflict. How might viewing it from a cosmic perspective change your feelings about it? Let's explore how to apply this strategy. 1. Perspective shift. Regularly remind yourself of the vastness of the universe and the impermanence of all things. 2. Gratitude. Cultivate gratitude for your existence and the experiences you have. 3. Humility. Recognize your small place within the grand scheme of things, fostering humility. 4. Acceptance. Accept the transience of life and the inevitability of change. If you feel overwhelmed by a work project, remind yourself of the bigger picture, the vastness of the universe and the fleeting nature of our concerns. This cosmic perspective can reduce anxiety and bring a sense of peace and acceptance. Remember the Stoic teaching. Look at the sky and imagine all of time, the past, the future. Infinite vastness. How can you incorporate this cosmic perspective into your daily life to find peace and clarity? We've reached the end of our journey through these 10 powerful Stoic strategies. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. We explored how deliberate ignorance can neutralize provocations, the power of winning with intelligence, and how adversaries can become our greatest teachers. We discovered the liberation of recognizing our own interpretations as the real source of suffering, the strength in forgiveness, and the transformative power of turning enemies into allies. We delved into self-mastery, the freedom of detachment, the peace found in embracing the present moment, and the ultimate clarity from adopting a cosmic perspective. Now, I invite you to take these strategies and integrate them into your life. Consider which ones resonate most with you and how you can start applying them today. Remember, true strength lies not in defeating others, but in mastering ourselves and cultivating wisdom, resilience, and inner peace. As we part ways, I leave you with this Stoic wisdom from Marcus Aurelius. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Thank you for joining me on this journey. May these Stoic strategies guide you to overcome challenges, find inner peace, and become the best version of yourself.